things have been moving quickly this morning. We've been talking about the story out of Gilbert, the violent crimes out in the East Valley. There was a meeting yesterday. There have been a couple of arrests made, one in Gilbert of an 18-year-old, and now we are hearing that in Pinal County an arrest is made from a November incident, I believe, of an aggravated assault. Joining us now to talk about that arrest is Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb. Sheriff, thanks for doing this.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Let's talk about this. Can you talk about the backstory here and with this aggravated assault? I saw the video that you tweeted out. This was a violent attack.
It was. And look, we were starting to investigate it. It took a little bit before it came to our attention. Then the video got public, but we were already investigating. Our detectives did a really good job figuring out, IDing the suspects in these videos. Obviously, one of the suspects that we were able to identify and get enough evidence to arrest was 20-year-old Jacob Pennington, and we arrested him this morning from that case stemming from November. Probably would have happened a little bit sooner, but we got caught up in the holidays as well. So.
Yeah, so what kind of, obviously the East Valley, and I would say Pinal County, at least part of your county, we would consider part of the East Valley, but whether it's Gilbert or it's Queen Creek or Santan Valley or into your area, what message are you going to be able to send to the communities now about policing and that this behavior can't be tolerated?
Well, I hope that is the message. You know, we had a homicide involving some juveniles a few weeks ago, about a month ago now. We've had some other juvenile crimes unrelated to a lot of the stuff you see in media and that is being talked about. We just are seeing an increase in violent crime amongst juveniles, and our citizens were getting concerned, and we wanted to make sure that we sent a strong message that if you are committing crimes in our county, we're going to hold you accountable, and especially if you're committing crimes on juveniles in our county. I hope that is the message that gets out there, and I hope that parents understand and really put a focus on where are your kids, where are they going, what are they doing, who are they hanging around with. These are very important questions to ask your youth right now because we're just seeing youth being more and more reckless every day.
Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb is joining us, and he is talking about an arrest being made from an aggravated assault in November. I want to go back to the assault itself, to the attack in the video. This, from what I saw in the video, it looks like an unprovoked. Was there something that led up to this, or was this just an unprovoked attack?
You know, Mike, this is an ongoing investigation. I don't think we don't have a lot of evidence that it was provoked. I don't think you can provoke anybody having multiple assailants attack you. You know, I think that's uncalled for. We're still investigating, so I can't get into a lot of the details. But what I can tell you is that we are still working in it. There could potentially be a few more arrests stemming from this case.
So then I guess I'll see if you can answer this or at least give us some indication. Are there other assaults attached to this person possibly, or is this looked to be an isolated incident?
Well, in our jurisdiction, this is the only isolated incident that I know of involving this subject. You know, look, there's a lot of things going out on social media, and I would just caution everybody, not everything you hear is true, and things are taken out of context, and different crimes are lumped in. What I can tell you is that we're working together with our local agencies to make sure that there's no violence anywhere. We don't want violence. We don't want violence amongst our youth. I don't know whether some of these people involved in this crime will cross over into other jurisdictions and crimes in other jurisdictions. This focus is on this case and getting justice for the victim of this crime.
And I'm glad you brought up the interagency working because, you know, sometimes things get proprietary, but you do have a good working relationship with those other jurisdictions. Are you sharing information to kind of put things together to help each other out to solve these crimes?
You know, law enforcement always tries to work hard together. You know that, Mike. And this particular case has become so high profile with a lot of crime amongst youth that we are working with Queen Creek. We're working with Gilbert very closely. We're working with other agencies around the valley, but particularly in this East Valley, we're working with those two agencies to ensure that we can reduce violent crime amongst juveniles everywhere in this area. And so, yes, we are working together. And I appreciate the working relationship we do have with those agencies, and they're great agencies to work with.
There was a meeting in Gilbert in the town council, and the parents were voicing their concerns. Are you hearing the same concerns from parents in Pinal County? Are they voicing the same kind of concern that you're talking about with violence among youth in your county?
Well, look, this video went out on social media. It got a lot of attention in the public. It got a lot of attention in the media. So we had a lot of parents that were not only reaching out to us, the agency, but we were reading comments online. And a lot of parents were concerned. And so this was a case that occurred in our county, and we treated it as such, an aggravated assault, and aggressively went after it. And I'm glad that we were able to make an arrest, and we're going to continue to investigate it. And any other crimes that come to our attention will be investigated as well.
Well, Sheriff, great work by you and by the men and women who work in your department, the detectives on this. I'm glad you were able to make an arrest, and I appreciate the update today. Yeah,
thanks, Mike. And I do want to give kudos to our detectives because they worked really hard. They worked through the holidays. They made sure that we got some this case put together and tied up. And they're still working it, so I'm very proud of them and the work they did.
Amen. That's great news. Thanks, Sheriff.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, that is Sheriff Mark Lamb from Pinal County. We get an update from him on this arrest. And now this is obviously just moving. This arrest was made this morning. Going back to the Gilbert part of this, there was an 18-year-old that was arrested in Gilbert, and that 18-year-old made their first court appearance. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a couple of moments. But this arrest that has been made, what is important about this is we want to talk about any kind of violence, whether it's organized violence. When you see these videos, and there's a video that's circulating online, these are brutal attacks. And there's a difference. Boys fight. I fought when I was a kid. It was boys fight. This looks to be, and I don't know all the details, but an unprovoked, but especially when the attack happens, when you knock somebody down or something happens, the continued brutalization of somebody, the brutality in all of this is what's shocking to me. But this 18-year-old named Christopher Fantastic was arrested in Gilbert. We know that the person that was arrested in Pinal County is a 20-year-old named Jacob Pennington. We don't know, and I'm not connecting these two arrests to each other. I'm not connecting any of those dots. But these are the two arrests that have been made today. So families in the East Valley, and you just heard the sheriff talk about it, whether it's in Gilbert or whether it's in Queen Creek or Santan Valley, Pinal County, wherever it is, agencies have now gotten the attention of these agencies. They are working diligently to make arrests. We know of two people being arrested, and as the sheriff said in his comments, that it's an ongoing investigation. There may be more arrests coming, and so we're going to find out more information, not just about these two suspects, but about what could be coming. Because I think the sheriff is right. We need to send that message in our community, first of all, to the innocent people, that when something like this happens, there is going to be something done, that you are going to feel the full force of the police departments, plural, not just one, but to the criminal element out there, that your behavior will not be tolerated. We've talked about organized retail theft and what the county attorney's office has said. In addition to that, the county attorney's office being involved here. These are young people, and generally speaking, young people are treated differently. They're not juveniles in this case, but young people, depending on their criminal record and their backgrounds, are treated differently. But in this case, the brutality of what's happened, doing it in public, doing it as a spectacle to post on social media, shows a different level here. It is the idea that you're doing this as a spectacle and brutalizing another human being. There's got to be a message sent here, and I'm hoping that it happens sooner rather than later. Still more to talk about before we close out the show. And again, a big thank you to Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb for giving us the update.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch the first season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.